Please say hello and welcome John Cleese.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, good to see you, John. Yeah, you're not the first person to lose the directions coming. They've all done it. Mel Gibson, he ended up playing something in the band.
They warned me.
Yes.
They said, be very careful of that thing. Try not to hit it. So.
Yeah. Well, you didn't hit it. You
Well,
hit.
that was very good.
And there's so many things to talk to this man about.
Well, there are.
There are. I mean, Basil Fawlty, Monty Python, movies, books, and a new film.
And a new film.
Now, where do we start about? I was surprised to hear today that you studied law.
Yes.
I mean, how do you get from jollies to juries? Where along the line do you suddenly say, no, this is not for me?
I was studying law and I was all signed up to be a proper solicitor, or rather what they call an articled clerk, which is what you do for 2.5 years before you become a solicitor. With a very posh firm, Freshfields, solicitors to the Bank of England. And I was doing a show at Cambridge in my last year, and two nice people in grey suits, smart suits, came along and said, how would you like to come and write scripts for Dick Emery and Derek Guyler? And they offered me 30 quid a week.
Which was a lot in those days?
Well, the articled clerkship I was going to do was going to get me 12 quid a week.
Ah, this helps, doesn't it?
For 2.5 years, so...
Yeah. Well,
and quite happily, because I wasn't... I mean, I was interested in the law kind of intellectually, but not... no, I didn't really want to practice it.
You could never have regretted it. I mean, you could never have imagined what would happen. Basil Fawlty, Fawlty Towers, which, but is one of the few videos that I can sit down with my 9-year-old daughter and not worry and just laugh. I mean, he's a classic, Basil Fawlty. Was he real, or was that a figment of your imagination?
Oh, no, he was real. He ran a hotel in Torquay called Glen Eagles, and we stayed there in about 1971.
You actually stayed?
Oh, yes, and all the other pythons couldn't stand him. So they all left after about 2 days, and for some reason, I suppose because I'd unpacked, you know, I didn't want to move. And I started to watch him, and he's the rudest man I've... He's one of those guys, he'd sit at the reception desk, you see, staring into space, nothing to do, but the moment he saw you coming, he would pretend to be busy. You know? And you'd walk up to the desk, and he'd still do this. He knew he was standing there, but he would ignore you. And you'd say, excuse me, he'd say, what? I'd say, could you possibly, what? Could you call me a taxi? He'd say, a taxi? You'd say, could you? He said, right, yes, fine. And he'd call a taxi. Terry Gilliam, the first night, was, you know how Americans eat meat? Do you know this? They cut the meat like this, put the knife there, take a fork, and then they spear the meat that they've cut up. He was walking past Terry. He looked down at him and said, we don't eat like that in this country. So I stayed here, and fortunately, my wife, Connie Booth, came and stayed with me. So we because she was doing some stuff for the Python show, and she arrived about 3 days later. And we just watched him, fascinated, for several days. And then about 2 years later, when she and I settled down to write something for the BBC, we looked at each other for about 2 minutes, and we said, it has to be that hotel, doesn't it?
Did he ever recognise himself? Did he ever get in contact with you?
Well, I made a terrible mistake. I once said what his name was, Sinclair. And
that's his real name?
That's his real name. And,
that's interesting.
The Daily Mail tracked him down in Miami and showed his family tapes, and his daughter said, that's Dad, that's Dad. So I always felt a bit ashamed that I'd persecuted this poor man.
This new movie,
yes,
the new one, Fierce Creatures, it's about animals and
yes,
have we got one of the, I believe we may have
well,
here...
I hope we've got one of those little ring tape. Yes.
What is this little fellow? Or is it a lady?
Well, this is a lemur.
Well, yeah, lady lemur, man lemur.
Isn't he adorable? I don't know. Jim, is he a boy or a girl?
You haven't looked yet?
He is a boy. Come on. Hey. Isn't he adorable?
I've got the wrong view of him at the moment. But,
hey, he likes raisins.
Yeah.
But they're a little bit dim, so if they see the raisin, that's fine. But you see, the moment they look away, they forget you've got
What's he going to do?
raisins.
The tail's gone up.
Don't worry.
It's anything strange, is he?
It's an old jacket.
I do have an account with Sketchless. Fine, he seems to be fine.
Isn't he
now.
adorable? So it's set in a zoo, and there's lots of these little animals in it. And I must say, doing little scenes with them is rather fun, because although they never bother to learn their lines, they're great fun to act with.
Oh, thank you. I've always felt that when I've watched on the screen, I've always felt that you and I could have worked together. I've always felt, without embarrassing you, that we could...
We're in a tobacconist shop?
No. I sort of thought we could... You're nuts? I always thought we could make music together. We could sing the duet. Fancy duet?
Do you know? I'd like to, but I have to tell you, I am the worst singer in the world.
No, you're not.
No, really?
Not according to the papers.
When I was at school, I wasn't even allowed to sing. I had to do extra Greek. I'm not kidding you.
Really that bad?
That bad. But I tell you what I can do. If you want me to sing for my supper.
You're going to sing?
I've got a sketch. No, I've got a sketch I'm really fond of, and it was the first sketch I ever did on television.
Would you need an announcement?
No, I just need to be able to remember it.
30 years. We'll let you off if you don't after 30 years.
I'll tell you what it is. It was written because in those days, I still don't know if people do this, used to get on coaches and career around Europe and see an enormous number of countries in a very short time, and it was all about that. Would you want me to do it?
What's it called?
It's called the Courier Sketch, because the guy...
he's a bus courier.
Yeah, he's a bus courier, exactly. Where do you want me to do it?
Wherever you feel. There? Stand up. I mean, this is totally unrehearsed.
All right. So, if you can imagine you're all on this coach, okay? And you're careering through Europe, and I'm the guy in charge. I should have a cap on. I say, will you sit down, sit down, sit? That's your last warning, 9. Next time I strap you in. My God, 8 hours in the coach and you're hysterical. What are you going to be like in 3 days? You've only seen 5 capitals, man. You've got another 13 to go. And stop crying now. In 2 minutes, wake up, 12, wake up. We'll be leaving Italy and entering Switzerland, which is a different country. So finish up your spaghetti, throw the tins out of the window and put the primer stoves back under your seats. You may now open your souvenir plastic bags marked not to be opened till Italy. You'll find a small green plastic replica of the Tower of Pisa, which this side of the coach saw shortly after Madrid. Don't try and stand it up, it's made that way. Now, in 15 seconds, we'll be crossing the border. You don't need your passports here. We got a special arrangement. They just stamped the coach. We're in Switzerland. Now, Switzerland is famous for its mountains, cheese, clocks, and chocolate. Nothing else. Open your plastic bags marked Switzerland. You'll find a small piece of chocolate. Eat it quickly. We're not here long. It's a small country, right? Wake up, 12. Wake up. There's another capital coming out in a moment. I warned you all before. If you miss a capital, you do the whole tour again. Now, Bern, B-E-R-N-E, is coming up the left-hand side of the coach. Sorry, it's getting a bit dark. Shine your torches out of the window. There he is, over there. Right, tick that. Now, Bern is the 5th largest. You missed that, didn't you, 9? What do you mean you can't find your chocolate? No excuses, you missed the capital. Right. Number 9, Thompson, you'll do the next trip. Now, stop screaming. Stop screaming. Hold him up. He's fainted. Never mind. We'll have an emergency comfort stop here. We've stopped. Right, everybody out. Out, 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 out. Out, in. You were last 22. You'll wash the coach. Right, we're off again. Now, the midnight bathe in the crystal clear waters of the Swiss lake as referred to in the brochure. Start putting your swimming costumes on now. Open the doors, driver. The coach will be passing through the lake in 30 seconds. This is where I need you. There's another courier waiting for you on the other side of the lake. Breathe in when I say breathe in. Breathe in. Goodbye. Good luck. And no drowning.
John Cleese.